Good morning, Mikko.
Good morning.
And welcome to Walk in the Park.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. So we are in Helsinki.
Yeah.
Testing the first days of winter weather here today with our walk. So we'll see. It's a bit windy. We'll see how it goes. I'm very excited to get to know about your journey. And we're going to talk about your transition from being a consultant to become an entrepreneur. And second time a CEO, but now switching into different role, expanding, and also why business with bicycles.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds
Awesome.
good.
Let's walk.
Okay, let's go.
So my first question is, how often you actually have walk and talks?
Maybe weekly, but usually I'm on a phone. I really like thinking when I walk. Actually, often I walk by myself. Also, if there's like some sort of problem or something that's bothering me, then I usually like to go for a walk because it's like very good for thinking. But then like really often I have calls with colleagues while we're walking.
With video, without video then?
Usually without video, just like normal calls. I think it's just easier that way.
Tell us more about yourself. So who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, I'm Mikko. I'm 45 years old. I'm an ex-consultant who turned entrepreneur in 2018. I have one daughter. She's 7 years old. And I'm a founder and a chief business development officer with Vapaus. So I'm now expanding the company to new markets beyond Finland.
So tell us a few words about what Vapaus is doing.
Yeah, we are in the cycling business. So first of all, we do like bicycle leasing. So just like you can lease a car, you can lease a bicycle. And specifically, we work with this sort of like benefit bikes. So it means that we make a contract with your employer, and then you can get the bicycle as part of your salary package through our service. So we've managed to put like tens of thousands of people on bikes, and we're looking to create like 1 million new cyclists during the next decade. So that's our job.
Awesome. Sounds great. But tell us, how did you get the idea of starting that kind of company?
Yeah, there's a short and long version of it. Maybe first of all, I used to work as a consultant, so I did have a lot of like opportunities to explore new businesses and industries. So I think there was plenty of stuff when I worked with mobility related projects where I started like realizing the real benefits and potential of cycling. Also from my personal point of view, when I finished school, I went to working life. I got myself a car because I thought that that's what you're supposed to do. But then I very soon realized that having a car in the city is just basically sitting in the traffic and paying like parking fines. So I realized that the bike is a better solution.
What you've done then? You sold your car?
Yeah, so I sold my car. I started like using like public transport and bikes. And I've been a lot like happier and healthier since. But yeah, there was like a moment in sort of a midlife crisis, I think, when I was still in my previous job. I was sometimes really thinking that, am I using my waking hours for the biggest impact, or like something that is very much in line with my personal values? And then when my daughter was born in 2017, I was like really thinking that this girl is going to ask me some difficult questions in the future. That, hey dad, what did you do during the climate crisis? And that kind of was the moment when I decided to quit my job and then really think that what should I like dedicate my like working life hours to. And yeah, that reminded me of the ideas with mobility and bicycles. And bicycle is good for the planet and it's good for your health, and it's very affordable as well. So we thought that there should be like plenty of space to create some sort of business out of it.
So you mentioned also you had several ideas, actually, not a concrete idea in the beginning, and you were also kind of burned out. Yeah. So you took a break and started to think, and tell us about that phase.
Yeah. When I decided to to quit, I really didn't like at that point yet really know what to do. But there is this old saying that, you know, find your passion and you will never work a day in your life. And I honestly think that is total bullshit because there's like two very like major problems with that saying. And the first one is that no one ever gives you any advice that how do you actually find your passion. It just magically appears somewhere. The second problem is that all the people I know who have found their passion are actually working a lot harder than, you know, anyone who is doing the sort of like 9 to 5 kind of a job.
But do you believe they are more happy because they do what they love still?
I think so, yeah.
What about you? You found yours?
Yeah, I was really lucky because I heard like a lot better like advice for working life from this Tim Ferriss podcast. And he said that instead of, you know, trying to chase your passion, just do things, and specifically do things in like 6-month intervals. So create yourself like a 6-month project and dedicate yourself to it. Learn everything that there is to learn about it. And then after 6 months you can, you know, evaluate, was it worth your time? Do you think that it's something to continue? And if not, then you just change your new project.
And you've learned something.
Yeah, exactly. Minimum you learn something about a new field of
So this
interest.
is what you've done.
Yeah.
You set a goal where within 6 months you try.
Yeah, me and my co-founders Tatu and Jari decided that we'll give it a try. We'll see what happens with this bicycle business, and in 6 months we'll, you know, have a deadline where we need to evaluate if we continue or not. And we were lucky because my first 6 months was already very promising, so we're still here.
Before we follow up on that, tell us the story how you actually met your co-founders. That was a cool story about Facebook posts.
First of all, I knew Tatu already like with through business and free time. And when I started thinking about this business idea, I just shared my like first ideas on Facebook, which was still a thing in 2017. Some people feel that, you know, if they're starting a business, they should keep it as a secret, so no one learns their valuable insights. But I believe in the complete opposite. You know, you should tell everyone about your idea, because that will give, you know, opportunities for other people to help you. So I posted my thoughts on Facebook. I'm thinking something about like along these lines, and then Tatu replied that hey, him and Jari have started thinking that they'll start focusing on like impact startups and doing like sweat equity deals with different companies. And so we had lunch with Tatu, and then we agreed that they will join the journey. And it actually started like going that well that instead of they're doing just this sweat equity quick gig, they ended up like joining full time with Vapaus. So now all the 3 founders are working with it full time, and obviously we have a team of like 50 plus people already. So it's been growing quite a bit.
Let's go back to the beginning of this 6 months period and interval. You started with the idea, and then you actually land the first customer in November, you said, from August to November.
Yeah.
Tell about that journey.
Well, how it went is that I very much believe in this sort of like prototyping and MVP and like just go into action as quickly as you can. So what we did was before we even had like a proper product or anything, we just made a sales deck. So we thought that hey, this could be our product, and I just started like calling different companies. I've been doing sales for 20 years or so at that point, and I've never been selling anything that had such a positive reaction from the.
So what was the reaction?
Well, I still remember this one moment very well when I actually called CEO of a publicly listed company, and my opening pitch was that hey, it's Mikko from Vapaus, and I would like to discuss cycling with you. And there was like 2-3 seconds of silence, where I was really thinking that, okay, I think I bombed this one. But then the guy started laughing and started said that, well, this is the first time ever, so let's discuss cycling then. But yeah, they all felt that this is like a very promising business idea, because everyone sees that sustainability is a big thing, but also well-being of employees is like a huge factor also when you're thinking of the success of companies.
And you were not calling just anyone in the company, you were always calling the CEO.
Yeah, I started as high as I could. So usually CEO and C-level anyway. Because for me it was also at that point quite difficult to pinpoint that who is the decision maker in this category. So usually CEOs were like surprisingly welcoming with the idea, and then obviously they thought about it for a while and then passed the connection to someone else in the organization. And this led us to not having a product, but already led to a situation where there was a customer saying that, well, if you build this, we're interested to buy. And they were saying that they will be moving to a new location on a specific date. So that kind of gave us like a deadline that, okay, now we need to build this because there's actually someone who wants to buy.
So this was the beginning of next 6 months interval.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. We had to make sure that we can execute what we promised.
And you delivered on time.
Yeah, we did. There were times when we were still practicing. And there was a launch date. We had times when we were supposed to launch the service, let's say on Thursday, and there was some delay with the delivery of the bicycles, so we were still at the customers' locations with me and Tatu, fixing the bikes and making them ready, the same morning when we were supposed to launch it. I was in the other room already, giving the presentation and pitching, and then Tatu was in the other room, making those bikes ready.
What about your sales experience? You mentioned you had pretty long experience with doing different type of sales. So what you've learned from that time, and it looks like it really helps you on a journey of building a company.
Yeah, it's I think one of the key things is really that you have to engage with the customers so you know what really builds value for them. And none of your plans really matter unless the customers agree that they are actually helping solving their problems. Sometimes you fall in love with your own ideas. For example, I had a very good moment of this when I was thinking that, hey, we're going to be building this fantastic technology company. So I thought that we're going to integrate this smart lock also into our bikes. So basically you could with your phone unlock the bike and all that sort of stuff. But then we soon ran into some problems with it, and I had already told the customers that we're going to be having this IoT lock. And then we realized that we can't deliver this. And I called the customer a bit ashamed that, hey, there's going to be a mechanical lock in the bikes instead of this cool technology that I promised you. And the customer said that, oh, that's great. At least then it's going to work. I had already fallen in love with my fantastic idea. Yeah.
What about you met different type of obstacles on the journey? So do you remember one of those and how you deal with it?
Yeah, the thing was that the law that with the benefit bikes was also passed in Finland during the COVID times. So the government was really busy with a lot of stuff. So they weren't really prepared for everything when the actually law became active 1st of January. First of all, they had all their guidelines ready by Christmas, and on 1st of January we were supposed to be already delivering bikes to our customers. So it was kind of hectic work around that. But then a huge shock came a few months after when we had launched a huge customer, and we made like a press release out of it, so it was in the biggest newspaper in Finland about how this company is like supporting the employees' well-being. And what happened was that then on Sunday I get a call from this reporter who made the story, and he said that I got a call from the tax office, and he said that the way that you're doing it is wrong. You can't do it like that. And I was thinking, oh, well, there's a misunderstanding. I'll call the tax office on Monday, have a discussion, and everything will be sorted out. So Monday morning I called the tax authorities, and I got the guy on the phone, and he confirmed that no, you are doing it the wrong way, and there's like a specific way to do it, and the result of that would be that it would kill like 95% of the market overnight. We just had just like hired new people to the team. Like we had been expanding, we had been planning based on the previous way of doing things. So that was like devastating moment. I was like thinking of, nah, if this is true, I need to fire everyone in the company. It's gonna kill the whole future of the business. So I was actually just like sitting down in my office because I felt that my head was so dizzy that I'm gonna fall down, if I keep standing. And then I decided that it can't be like this, because this is the whole purpose of the law was that we will get people cycling, and if they're gonna go with their interpretation of the law, the impact is gonna be minimum. So I started like this whole lobbying project. So I called basically everyone I knew that was like somehow involved in this movement. So
you called politicians, competitors, right?
Yeah, politicians, the government authorities, the cycling unions. I even called all my competitors, and we all like started rallying around this topic. That was Monday, and Monday, Tuesday, so like we're calling everybody, like making sure that everyone knows what's happening here. And then there was like a few hours of silence. I couldn't reach anyone. I was thinking, like, what the hell is happening here? And then Wednesday afternoon, I get a call that, okay, we're going back to the original one. So that was really cool that you can actually join forces with your competitors as well if something like this happens.
What was the feeling then at that time you got this call?
Yeah, that was like feeling in the top of the world. I can do anything. Like if I can change the government's mind. Oftentimes you hear that governments are slow, but this happened in 2 days, so it can be done if there's like people willing to actually make the change.
Tell us a bit about now, what's happening now. So you've been a CEO for quite some years at Tapaus, and you changed to being a Chief Business Development Officer with a focus on expanding in Sweden.
Yeah.
So tell us about that change. How is that for you? Is this something you wanted, and how does that feel, the change of roles?
Yeah, it was really like a fantastic journey, as well as really taxing being the CEO for the first 6 years. I feel that I'm at my best when I'm like in the early stages creating something new, and I'm a very creative person. I'm very optimistic and positive, sometimes it's even a problem because I think everything can be achieved. Not everything can actually be achieved, but that's just my like mentality. So but then again, Vapaus started growing into 30-40 people or something like that. So we also started having a lot of like management, building processes and that sort of stuff, which wasn't like, I don't think it's like really, my core skill. So we discussed this with the chairman of the board, and we came to the conclusion that I think it's like a good idea that we'll hire someone with more experience with, scaling to the role of the CEO, and I'll have a different focus. Now I can again focus on the building the new stuff in the new markets. So right now we're like doing stuff in Sweden, and we're already looking into 2 new markets. Can't mention those exactly yet, but it's really exciting times again. I'm really happy about this change.
So it was a good decision, the right one. And
Yeah.
it's an external CEO or from
he
the
is.
company. Yeah.
He is, yeah.
And was it easy to kind of step down and give the space to a new person?
The decision was difficult because I think many entrepreneurs have also this mentality that I will not give up. And it did kind of feel that I had to like go through the process in my head that is it really like giving up or is it like a smart choice to do? And still, but I'm dedicated for the mission and we're here for the impact. So you really need to think about that. And once I got over the, idea that is it like giving up, then it was actually super easy. And actually also when the new CEO Tero Era joined, I took like a 1.5 months break. So to give him first of all space to, to take his role, and then again some more time for me to also recover and then focus on the new market.
Let's walk a little bit more.
Okay, let's see.
But how you've done this whole process? Were you only like reflecting with yourself, or you got some support from the board or coaches or other supporters? How you do that?
Yeah, I actually had like 2 coaches. I had like a sort of like a well-being coach at that time, but I also had like a business coach who was also extremely helpful when I was like really thinking about how to first of all keep myself healthy and happy. But it really helps when you have good trusted people that you can have like discussions around it. And actually I would really encourage like everyone to, if they're doing like a stressful startup founder CEO position, then having like a real coach it was fantastic. Because even though we have like a really good relationship with the board and the chair of the board, there's always a sort of like power relations also in play. When you have a coach, nothing like that exists at all. So you can just like really openly discuss everything and just like to try and come up with choices that will be best for you and the company. So I really appreciated that.
Since you mentioned you actually have the well-being coach and thinking consciously about the balance, kind of both the company success but also your own level of energy. So tell us about how you do that. How do you take care of yourself and recharge, and any rituals? Yeah,
first of all, I've done like a proper like burnout once in my career. So I pushed and pushed for like 12 months, like really hard. Getting like work exhausting and getting close to burnout is a slippery slope. It's really hard to spot unless someone close to you points out that hey, you're like going to the wrong direction. It just kept on happening, and then I hit like a complete wall. I thought I had a heart attack or something. Basically collapsed on the street. But it was not my heart. It was just like a burnout basically. So I'm fully aware that I have my limits, and that has really made the topic really important for me. And so I have this like early warning signs when I know that I'm now getting on that slippery slope again. So for example, if I start sleeping badly, or if I start neglecting my friends and family, or then I don't do sports anymore like enough, those are always the warning signs for me that okay, if I keep on doing like this, I'm gonna hit the wall again at some point. It's family is fantastic, because when you have a young child at home, there's always the need to she comes back home from school, so I have to pay attention to that. So it's like in that sense it's a very easy alarm clock that okay, now time to close the computer for a while and then focus on the family. Then just being physically active. I mean, like walking and cycling and then doing sports during the week is extremely important. Just have a steady rhythm for that. Because you always have this mentality that, you know, I'll just keep on doing 1 week more or 1 month more and then it's gonna be all better. But that's usually nonsense. You know, you need to be active and you need to take action, so you make sure that, you know, you don't end up in that situation where I was.
Yeah. So vapaus means freedom.
Yeah, it does.
Tell us about that. What is the motto and what is the company culture?
Yeah, well, Vapaus, we got the name because I was interviewing one person when founding the company. What does cycling mean to you? And there was one woman who said that there is no freer feeling than riding your bike in the summer night. So I was like captivated by that idea, and then yeah, that is really true. We wanted to, you know, captivate that feeling also to the company in many levels. So obviously we want to make sure that the customers are free of all their like cycling related worries, because we will take care of all of that. But then again, in the company culture, it also means that all the people are very free to find their own like ways of working and just contribute to the company mission and goals in the best way they can come up with. And it's been working really well. First of all, we are this sort of like we have an office, but then again, everyone is free to work remotely if they want to, or you can work from the office if you want to. And we have like really amazing employee net promoter scores. So
yeah, that was above 70.
Yeah, we have like 70 something like right now, when normally 30 is good and 50 is like world class, and we are 70.
I read it somewhere. You really focus on making people healthier and happier.
Yeah.
Both inside the company, but also bigger impact, right? So why is that important for you?
I feel that what the world really needs is more and more businesses that, you know, consider their, you know, net impact beyond just revenues and taxes. A lot of like larger corporations say that, hey, we are like a great taxpayer, we bring like a lot of wealth to the world. But then again, what is the core product and what is the core impact of the company? And we feel that you know, bicycles definitely have that sort of impact. You know, if you're riding a bike, it's instantly boosting your health. And second of all, everyone who's like started, for example, cycling to work really realizes that it's gonna make you like feel happier also in the morning. You know, if you come to the office with a bike, your energy is gonna be completely different when you walk through that door. Instead, you know, you'd be sitting in a car, sitting in a traffic light for 30 minutes. It's just completely different.
So you're a part of Jiu-Jitsu Club, which probably you also set up yourself. Or why do you do that, and what is that role in your life?
Yeah, I was actually like very active with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We started like our own club in Helsinki. And yeah, it's great on like, it's a great hobby in two levels, I would say. First of all, when you're doing something like that, you know, wrestling with someone, you know, if you focus just for a second on something that is not related to the moment, so, they will choke you out. So you have to, it's like the perfect mindfulness exercise in that sense. Then again, in Jiu-Jitsu, there's a saying that either you win the match or then you learn. So, you know, there's no basically losing. And that's what I also consider like great with, you know, entrepreneurship. You will learn a lot and, you know, maybe even win. So if with winning, I mean like some sort of success.
And what about your experience working at 1530 research company? You've been there through several roles, as you say yourself, through brewing a coffee to becoming a CEO. So what was your main learning from that time?
for me that was also really good school for entrepreneurship, because I quite soon realized that I have the total freedom to do whatever I want, as long as I was like making revenues and like running the projects I'm doing. So I was a bit like a entrepreneur inside of a small business already at that point. So it really taught me that I can just get stuff done. If I can create results, I can have I can take charge of my own career and life. I think that was like one of the biggest things there.
Haven't you decided you want to become a CEO when you were a kid? Because both your parents were building companies, right?
Yeah, both of my parents like had their try as an entrepreneur, and I do remember like when I was 10 or something, I was thinking that my dream job would be a CEO of a company. I didn't even know what it really means. Most kids have something like a police or a firefighter or something like that. I do remember that it was supposed to be a businessman and a CEO.
What do you think your daughter, when she will be grown up and will be about to take a decision about her journey, what advice would you give her?
Give her? That's a really good question. I can already see that she's creative. She has a mind of her own, definitely. So I think I'm just gonna try to support him whatever he wants to do in life, and I'm quite sure that she will find her own way as well. I'm gonna be there to help, definitely, but sometimes dads are not the best source of advice. At least what I've noticed with my daughter. She listens to everyone else but me.
And the last one for today, your piece of advice to the young entrepreneurs.
Yeah. I think the first thing is that I think it's very smart to first get a job when you are given like a lot of opportunities and responsibilities. Find someone who can support with your growth in the early years. Might not be that it's sometimes young people want to choose from the best well-known brands, but really consider if that company is the best environment for you to grow as someone who wants to be an entrepreneur. Maybe like a scale-up or like maybe a startup who has raised some funding, so there's like momentum and resources to do stuff would be better. And then side hustles are always good, so you can try something small, and then again, just give it a go, because actually when you're young you have very little risks as well. I was around 40, I had like a daughter and a mortgage, so I had like plenty of risks, but that wasn't also no, it wasn't stopping me. So it's always good time to start entrepreneurship as well.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.